Grab your favorite alcoholic or non-alcoholic beverage. Do not drink and drive. Sit back and relax and enjoy the latest episode of Why Complain When You Can Whine. Everything in this podcast is for psychoeducational and entertainment purposes only. Welcome to Why Complain When You Can Whine, making sense of the senseless. Join us as we attempt to make sense of toxic nonsense while drinking wine or any other beverage, alcoholic or non-alcoholic, but right now for me, it's alcoholic, of your choice. I am Dr. Jody Larman, licensed clinical psychologist, and I'm saying this for a reason. In Los Angeles, California. Just putting that out there. Los Angeles. Tonight, I am drinking Storyteller. There are many different meanings in my head about why I picked this. One is storytelling in what we're going to be talking about. There's different narratives when you tell a story. Just keep that in mind. There's different narratives. Mm-hmm. It's a Cabernet from Sonoma County. For some reason, it says got away. I don't know what that means, but so, the one that got away. Okay. The one that got away. And my glass says, wine is my spirit animal. My niece gave me this.
That's lovely. Well played. I think that's good. Well, I am drinking a non-alcoholic beverage because I left my favorite scotch at my friend's house the other night and it is not here and I don't have anything, but it is a lovely electrolyte drink that I just poured myself, which will help with my run later. So there we go.
With your what?
My run.
Oh, I thought you said rum.
Rum, no, run. It will help, keep my electrolytes balanced. So, yeah, and my name is Bree Burry, and I am a licensed clinician up in BC, British Columbia, Vancouver.
Canada, people. Canada.
Way up north.
And I have to be careful because I have literally not eaten anything at all today.
This is going to be an entertaining episode.
Half a cup of coffee, and that was it.
So, entertaining episode. We are watching the dumpster fire from the north. I've got friends that are literally commenting on it right now. Trump just signed an executive order to allow corporal punishments in schools. And this is my friend who works for the liberal government in Canada here. Her name's Ali. Yeah, he did. It's just news. Wow. Talk about a diversion, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight, Dr. Larman. Why don't you give everybody the intro of what this episode is about?
Okay, if you have been following us at all, you know that we despise narcissists.
Well, most people do. Yep.
And Donald Trump is a humongous narcissist, malignant narcissist, the poster child for sociopath, malignant narcissist. Mm-hmm. And I don't use those words lightly at all. I will be the first one to tell you those are not clinical definitions. We have narcissist and ASPD. But yeah, malignant narcissist is someone who can be diagnosed with both ASPD and NPD. And they're actually also called sociopaths. So they're not diagnoses of their own, but they're in the diagnosis. And Trump ran on the mass deportations. We are going to get rid of all the criminals, the drug dealers, the rapists, all of that. Well,
he is one. There's the irony right there. He is one.
He is one. We, on the left, or someone that's not a MAGA, knew that he didn't just mean the criminals, meaning people who are convicted of a crime. He is now, and I am not exaggerating, going after children. He is going to has ICE going to foster homes to remove children who cross the border illegally or not. I'm sorry. Scratch that. I would delete it, but then there'll be a little blip in the video, and I don't want to do that. They cross the border as an undocumented and unaccompanied minor. So he thinks, this is what he says, it's for their safety. to snatch them out of their foster home and deport them unaccompanied to another country.
And where do you think this is all of a sudden magically happening? Why do we think that this is just, why is he doing this?
Well, for one, he started the deportations from day one.
Yeah,
But
he did.
why?
But
So
why?
what's happening now, what he's doing now is ICE has entered Los Angeles. Los Angeles does not take that lightly. Los Angeles does not roll over. Los Angeles is fighting back. We are fighting back, and it had been very peaceful. But according to the First Amendment, that is perfectly okay. But Trump has decided to antagonize. He is telling everybody that the city is burning because 2 Waymos were set fire, which is, I don't agree with that. That is not okay. But 2 Waymos were set on fire. So he's like, the city is burning. He didn't give 2 shits, and none of them gave 2 shits when the city was literally burning with the fires back in January. Didn't care about that. So he has made up this whole thing that people are getting killed. No one's gotten killed. People are setting fire to the city. Now, remember, our city is huge. I think it's something like 40 states have less population than the city of Los Angeles. Just the city of Los Angeles, 40 states. Okay. So he has now sent the National Guard, which has not since I think it was 62, been sent without the consent of a governor. Governors have to ask. It is our National Guard. Governments have to ask. He deployed our National Guard, and now he's deploying the Marine against American citizens on American soil. He has not claimed the, what is it, Insurrection Act. So everything that they're doing is actually illegal. They're not allowed to, they're not law enforcement. He's saying that they're only there to protect the buildings. No, they're fucking shooting non-lethal rubber bullets, which I'm sorry, but I've worked in prison for 13 years. I've seen non-lethal rubber bullets. If they're using the same ones, they're about yay big around, and they come at a high speed. So they may not be lethal, depending on where it hits you, it can potentially cause a lot of damage. And so far they have hit this lady sitting on the ground, hit her in the head. She was bleeding. I saw the video, and they're like, we're not going to call an ambulance. There's no ambulance around. And the people are like, you better fucking call an ambulance. They hit a reporter while she was reporting on TV. They have antagonized. They have caused problems. Now there's a curfew in LA from the hours of, I want to say 6, I think maybe it's 8, to morning time, because they're trying to, since they have antagonized so much, they're trying to just get people to go home, and people are going home. Now, the reason why he did this, the diversion, what are we not talking about right now? We're going to talk about it when I say it, but what are we not talking about right now?
Elon Musk and Trump, Narc 1 and Narc 2, going at it.
And what did Elon say? That he's saying he now regrets his tweets. Some of them. He's not saying which ones. But
The Epstein files and the Trump's involvement with Epstein, and now all of a sudden we have all ISIS coming in and doing all the things. Talk about the most obvious diversion to what really is, especially with the two, again, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, that are Narc 1 and Narc 2. And as people that talk about narcissism on a fairly consistent basis, because the delusions, why complain when you can whine and make sense of toxic nonsense?
Toxic nonsense. They are the biggest toxic nonsense.
They're literally textbook definition of toxic nonsense. Do narcissists work in relationships? No, because they're constantly competing with one another. Nobody can outdo, right? So Elon wants to outdo Trump. Trump wants to outdo Elon. And this was only a matter of time.
And guess what else we're not talking about? Another one of his tweets. He wouldn't have won the election without me.
Yep.
Because there are lawsuits right now looking into the election. Because there are some counties, like I think it was Rochester, New York, don't quote me on that, but I think it was, where Democrats won in the House or the Senate, and Kamala got 0 votes.
Hmm.
Not just less than Trump, not just not enough,
Zero.
0 votes. People that down ballot vote starts at the top, the president. So if the Democrats won, but the Democrat for running for president got 0 vote, I don't even know if that's ever happened.
Okay, so here's a question for you, Jody.
Mhm.
Say they find out that this election was obviously overthrown by Musk, whatever. And again, I'm not a conspiracy theorist by any stretch, but let's just hypothetically just say, the Democrats and the way Kamala handled that was so well because they just lost fair and square. So they thought, and nobody else did. But I mean,
Right.
say
We were
it
all
was,
pissed off.
say it was tampered
Tampered
with,
with.
and they prove this to be the truth. What happens then?
My personal opinion,
No, what actually
based
can,
on, no,
what happens?
based, I don't know that this has ever happened before, but I can almost assure you, based on January 6th of 2021, that if that's the case, he's not leaving. He is not stepping out. And we are going to have a war.
But how can you not if I know your constitution really doesn't exist anymore, but
Right.
again, the laws, he abided by the Constitution when he was sworn in again this
No,
term.
he said he was going to abide by the
But
Constitution.
and he's legally obligated to. So how does
He
like
hasn't. He has not abided by the Constitution since the day he took office. He
so
probably
why
has fingers crossed
why has nobody walked in to arrest him?
because of all his flying monkeys. Because he has surrounded himself. His first term, he had a lot of people reining him in.
So
His
how did the Democrats then, okay, if the election was overturned and Trump illegally won, okay, because it was all false, and the Democrats say did win, say Kamala won and beat out Trump fair and square,
Mhm.
legally, like actually honestly, by people's votes, what can happen? Can't somebody come in and take him out of that
I
position?
think
And
the military has to come.
okay,
I think the military or the marshals have to come.
and who's the one that controls that?
The
Military,
Constitution, yeah.
Constitution.
Constitution. That's the thing. Like the troops that he sent in, people are like, and veterans are sounding off. Your fucking oath was to the Constitution, not to the president. Not to the president. And so that's why they're saying, one, it's illegal
Mm.
because the Constitution does not allow it. But if it is proven that he did rig the election, because I believe, based on everything that I have seen and read and heard, and that he has admitted out of his own mouth by saying
I know. We
what
all
Elon did with the computers in Pennsylvania, that it was tampered with. Because I don't believe in, like in 2020 with the ballot drops and thrown away and this and that. I believe that they rigged the computers because they used his system.
Of course they did.
So what is going to happen there? I believe, because he will not go gently into that good night.
No, of course he won't, but he has to. What like he being the president doesn't mean that you're above the law.
But he thinks he is. I mean, look
I
at
know he
January
thinks he
6th.
is, but
Look
who
at
can
the
control Trump? Who can actually walk in and cuff the guy? Who has
if
the ability to
if
do
he
that?
actually did lose, I would hope that the Senate and the Congress would grow some fucking balls and someone will call the military and do it. Because right now you have Mike Johnson, who is the Speaker of the House and the biggest diaper sniffer I have ever seen. Like he is king flying monkey. Well, no, Caroline Leavitt, the Speaker of the House, or not Speaker of the House, the press secretary,
He's a
she
doorknob.
she is she needs to wipe the Trump off her face, but she can't because she's so far in that diaper.
Mhm.
And I'm sorry, I'm not sorry I'm saying this because it is it is awful.
I know.
It is
They're all
awful.
awful.
And so you have Marco Rubio. When you have somebody who sits there and says that your wife is the ugliest thing and your dad killed Kennedy, and yet you turn around and go, thank you. When you have someone who is like, he is the America's Hitler, I am a never Trumper. He is an awful person who is now the fucking vice president.
Yeah, I know.
It is I look forward to, and I hope we end up having some Nuremberg-like trials soon. Because all of them are horrible people. Even the person the Latinos for Trump, she's like the head of the Latinos for Trump, and she did this huge movement to get Trump voted in. Well, guess what? They are now taking kids, like I said, out of schools and foster care. And so now she's all up in arms about it. He said he was going to do it, but she still doesn't blame Trump. She blames Steve Miller, who is a fucking anti-Semitic Jew. He's a Jew, self-hating Jew, but
A
he's the one calling
self-hating
shots.
Jew?
Yeah,
Wow.
he is so anti-Semitic. It
That's
is
crazy.
insane. But he's the one that wants this place like cleansed, literally cleansed of all migrants and immigrants, which we're all immigrants. Unless you're Native American, shit. Mexicans that live here, we took their land. They're actually indigenous. We're not. But he wants to cleanse them all and just be white supremacy.
It's actually disgusting. You know, I was having this discussion with a bunch of my dance girls last night. And one girl who's quite a bit younger than us, she's asexual, so she's trans. Um, had surgery to remove anyways, born.
So she's a transsexual female. She's
Yeah.
now female.
No. She's not. She's non-binary. She's asexual. She's
Yeah, but
identifying as
asexual just means I don't care about having sex. It doesn't.
yeah, no, but she refers to herself as they them. So she is
But
non-binary.
was she a man
No,
first?
no, she was female and she
Oh,
had
okay, okay. I thought when you say trans, she transitioned. But
yeah,
no,
well, she's
just somebody
transitioned
who
to
took
being
everything.
a non-binary. So
Okay.
she's not identifying as male or female. Anyway, and she refers to herself as asexual. But beside the point, she's fairly sensitive to discrimination, as people in the LGBTQ plus community are. Um, and said when we were talking about what was going on and how mind fucking blowing it is from everywhere else in the world and how this shit is even happening, she said, I have to say, and this is going to sound really messed up, but I actually could understand in the beginning when Hitler came into power, he had purpose of trying to fix the German economy because they lost World War One, and it wasn't their fault. It was, they were there was purpose to him trying to turn that around. Now, he turned into a psycho and again had to blame somebody. So he blamed the Jewish community because they had all the money and the Germans didn't. And so that's where that all came into play. But in the beginning, when he took power, when he came into power, it was to fix the German economy. It was to work on changing everything after World War One because they were blamed and they were ridiculed for how World War One ended. And so she said, at this point in time, and I can't even believe I'm about to say this because Hitler was the most disgusting person that walked the planet, but I actually kind of like him better than Trump because he had the purpose, his purpose in the beginning was kind of there was logic there, and then it changed, and then it became illogical completely. He went out like I mean, yeah, ethnic
Yeah.
cleansing, like what the fuck? It was the most insane, horrific part of our history, but it didn't start that way. And he did have logic to begin with, and then that changed. Whereas Trump has never had logic from day one.
No. Trump is pandering to his base and
Yeah.
then doing stuff to stay what he thinks is relevant. And by what he's doing in LA right now, he's already said he's going to do in Philadelphia, Chicago, Seattle, Washington, D.C., and one more blue city. on purpose, intentionally going into the blue cities under the guise of to his pandering fucking flying monkeys, making everything better. And all he's doing is stirring shit up and showing how, see how bad they are? See what's going on? Because that is what's happening here. Everything was fine. He did not need to get involved at all. And ICE does not need to be here.
No, they don't, but he's diverting because he doesn't want the attention on himself about
Right.
Epstein. And the
Not
fact
just
that him
Epstein, but
and
the,
Elon
yeah.
and are in this public battle. Like, think about how absolutely mind fucking blowing this whole thing is. Two supposed professional that's supposed to have decorum and social etiquette and political etiquette are fighting like 5-year-olds publicly. It's just like, oh my God, not behind the scenes, not going, okay, I don't agree with you. I don't agree with you either. We're fighting behind the scenes, but we're going to keep it behind the scenes because we don't need the public display of the circus.
But that's what's happening now in the United States, and he loves it.
I know,
He
but that's
loves
what's
it.
so
What I
funny.
love is his approval rating is in the toilet. So the people, but you know, the minority is the loudest, the silent majority and the loud
Trump could
minority.
go out and go shoot innocent people, and people will still follow him and be okay with it.
Someone said, and again, this is not a verbatim, but someone said something to the effect where he and the Trump administration will defend, at this point, they would defend ICE killing a 4-year-old in the name of, oh my God, they were resisting and they're bad people and they're criminals. They're calling everyone that's in LA that they have taken from the garment. So much of our economy in the United States runs on immigrants. And they're taking them and saying they're rapists, they're child offenders, sex offenders, they're murderers. They're fucking 17 years old and you pulled him out of his graduation. What they're doing now, another thing they're doing now is when people go to court for their immigration hearing, deportation hearing, they're saying we're dropping the charges. The United States is dropping the charges. They drop the charges, and so what they do then is, as soon as they leave the courtroom, they arrest them and deport them under a different law. So they don't have to have due process. They do it expeditiously. So people are like, oh, wow, I'm going to court like I'm supposed to legally to get my citizenship. And now you're telling me my deportation case is dropped. That is awesome. And as soon as they leave, they're handcuffed and deported. And they're not just deporting these people to their countries. They're deporting them to El Salvador. They deported a whole bunch to South Sudan or Sudan when the judge said they cannot. So what the judge did, the judge said the ICE people cannot leave the detainees. They must give them due process, either here, or if they're going to do it there, they have to sit there with them the whole time as long as they get their due process. And ICE was pissed, and the administration was pissed because they just want to dump and run. And these people have no criminal record, because if they did, they'd be in fucking prison.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of inmates in prison with ICE holds on them. As soon as they've served their time, they get out and get deported.
Right.
I worked in prison 13 years. People do not tell me any differently. And I'm
Yeah.
so sick of, this is where I say I'm so sick of gaslighting. There are so many people on social media, I know, social media, that are like, we see on the news, this is happening. It's like, are you in LA? Are you? Stop watching the news. Listen to the people in LA that are telling you it's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
Just because Trump and the media, even mainstream media, doesn't want to go against Trump because they paid for him. And they're paying to stay in business with him being president because he will pull their licenses.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's like, this is the worst case of narcissism I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And the gaslighting and people going, this guy posted a video. He lives in downtown where this is happening. Posted a video saying, no, it's not. And people are like, oh, you're just giving us your little block. It's happening over there. They're not believing the people in it. They're believing the narcissist's story.
Of course they are.
I posted, someone asked a question on a baseball group that I'm in. They asked a question. We're going to be going to San Diego. I have my kids. Is it safe with everything going on? And people are like, yes, it is. You're fine. And I posted something someone else wrote that basically said, Trump is lying. This is not happening. Everything is fine. And the amount of people that are telling me I now have Trump derangement syndrome.
Yeah.
It's like, and I asked them, I'm like, do you live in LA? They don't. Someone's like, we're seeing it on TV. Do you not understand? Grow some critical thinking neurons, for fuck's sake.
But Jody, you're talking to a population
I
that
know.
was like,
I
you
know.
gotta fight fire with water, you gotta fight fire.
Fire with water. Fight.
Again, you're arguing
man.
for logic, or you're arguing for logic from people who are not capable of even putting their fucking name together and being able to pronounce it properly.
You have one fucking collective brain cell that you guys share.
Mhm.
Literally. I
And
mean,
we've got the maple megas up here. That's what we call them, maple megas.
oh,
And that are all Trump supporters, that are all wanting Alberta to separate from Canada and blah blah blah. No, here's the deal. Fuck, go to the States, go down south, go join your Republican buddies, man. Nobody's stopping you. We don't need you here, but you can't take a province out of a country because
well,
then you've got no national security. Who's going to go after you first? Trump. If you become your own sovereignty,
and
you've
if
got
you come
no
here,
national protection.
you come here, you don't want to come here. You just
We
don't.
actually just want them to just float away, float away.
I think this is what our CHP, California Highway Patrol, posted the other day. As a state law enforcement agency, the California Highway Patrol remains focused on our mission to provide the highest level of safety, service, and security to the people of California. At the direction of Governor Newsom, the CHP is deploying additional resources in Los Angeles to help maintain public safety on state highways and roadways. Our mission is to keep the peace. The CHP is aware of the federal immigration enforcement activity in Los Angeles. We want to be clear, the CHP is not and will not be involved in those operations. Furthermore, we have no prior knowledge that they were scheduled to occur. The CHP aims to serve all Californians with professionalism, integrity, and respect. We are also committed to protecting the rights and safety of every person's lives, who lives, works, and travels on California's roadways. So because they're out there right now on the freeways, because people are breaching the freeway and standing on the freeway, they're there, but they're like, we are not part of this. LAPD, as far as I know, hasn't posted anything, but they're saying the same thing. We're not part of this. This is not California.
No.
This is Trump. And I posted something that on social media that on our YouTube channel, actually. I posted something saying, I stand with Newsom and against Trump. And there are people commenting that I have Trump derangement syndrome. Let me tell you some of the comments, because I'm just like, seriously, people, I live in Los Angeles. And you're able to see this on our channel. It's there. For some reason, I can't open it. It's not letting me. Hang on. Okay. Hell no. Okay. No thanks. I'm not crazy as him and you. The man is an absolute embarrassment to all of Democrats, but California voters thought he was the best for them. How's that going for you, Callie? And I wrote, we love California, 4th largest economy in the world. It's going great. What else? Okay, it's not. Why would he ruin Cali? Why haven't you run? And I said, why haven't I run? Run from what? I love California. And then I put something on another thing, and I got all this Trump derangement syndrome, on and on. California sucks. And I asked people, where do you live? 9 times out of 10, not in California. Never been here. Maybe on vacation. Love to come to Disneyland. But all the people that bag on California, do you know who's supporting you?
Mm-hmm.
California.
Mm-hmm.
I Gavin Newsom has said we should stop paying our federal taxes. If you're going to withhold federal money from us and you're going
Mm-hmm.
to do this shit, we should stop paying federal taxes. And I'm like, let's stop. Newsom, stop being kind. Fucking stop. And people are, hating on Newsom. He's horrible. It's like, what has he not done to California? Well, this is what they hear. They don't live here. And the people that do live here, I've asked them, and other people have asked them, why don't you move to a red state then? Hell of a lot cheaper. Hell of a lot cheaper. Well, because my job. Oh, yeah, that's right. You make more money here, don't you? Our cost of living is higher, but so is our salary.
Mm.
So is our infrastructure is better. There was someone who was commenting because I read a whole article on blues and reds and moving to blue and red state and what they regretted it or if they liked it. And one guy who he moved to a red state and he's red, he said it's all fine and good, but you drive out of your house, the roads are shit. Don't get sick, the hospitals are shit. Our education, shit. Do we pay less? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Go ahead and fucking move.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and move. Most of the people that bag on California either don't live here or have excuses for not moving.
Mm.
I had someone say to me, we moved out of here, but it cost us $30,000. I'm like, really? Because the average cost, according to Google, to move from California to the furthest end of the country.
My dog's growling. Sorry.
Oh,
Trying to laugh.
I
Yeah,
can't
do
hear it.
hear that? You can't hear it?
Uh-uh.
Really? Oh, okay. Keep talking.
But to move to the farthest end of the country is a maybe $10,000 average cost.
Yeah.
So why were you 30,000? She goes, well, we had to go there, visit, look for homes, get pods to move our stuff. And I'm like, oh, so it's stuff that you did, not the moving. Yeah, I never heard from her again.
Yeah, I bet not. People are so, yeah, ignorant.
The flying monkey. Here's
Mm.
the thing, people. If you are a flying monkey, it will bite you in the ass at some point.
Yeah, it will. 100% it will.
It is a what goes around comes around. Is it what
Yeah.
comes around goes around or what goes
No,
around?
no, what goes around comes around.
Okay, I was right the first time. What goes around comes around. And
Yeah.
you've seen it before. How many 200, 300 rhinos from his last term that now went against him
Mm-hmm.
and he attacked them and everything? Oh, you're the flying monkey that says it's not going to be me.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever met a flying monkey that, except for that one that always stays loyal no matter what, that one supply, that one
Yep.
person who will
Oh,
be
yeah.
there until the end? Have you
Yep.
met any other flying monkeys that didn't get bit in the ass if they stayed?
No,
No.
they always get bitten in the ass. Look at, you had Elon Musk and Trump were each other's flying monkeys until
Yeah.
look what happened.
Yeah. That's going to get, I think, even though Elon is now saying he regrets some of his texts and they're kind of trying to get them back together. Okay, yeah, go back. What happens when you go back with a narcissist?
Trauma bond.
It doesn't get better. It doesn't. Have you ever seen a relationship with a narcissist that's gotten better the second time they came back?
No, it's worse. And here's the thing, if you get two narcs together, it doesn't last because they're trying to outpower each other. The money, the narcissism, the ego, all of it, the control.
And what happens to the trust and respect now?
Well, there was none to begin with, really.
No,
It's all
but
about
now they're going to
money.
be back together. What's going to happen?
Yeah. God, it's
So
just like an ongoing fucking comedy show.
sadly, though, it is putting so
Not
many
funny.
people's lives at
Well,
risk.
no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's but a comedy in this and sadistic comedy, I guess. I mean, it's just it's hard to believe that's the world that we live in. It just is it's mind-blowing that this shit can even happen. It's
I
just again, there's no law anymore. There's no law and order in your country. None.
No, it's an embarrassment. It is an embarrassment.
For a country that prides themselves on their constitution, I don't get it.
And the fact that you have so many diaper sniffing flying monkeys, because that's what I call him, because his diaper supposedly smells very bad. I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a lot of people posting now about the stench around him
Oh,
that
really?
were near him that aren't just saying it. They're
Really?
like, oh yeah, they're saying it is bad. And if there's a video where he's sitting there at some, it might be Italy, I'm not sure.
Like
And you see the,
incontinent.
yeah, he wears diapers.
Yeah, I know, I know.
Yeah. But and it's in Caprices, I believe too. Well, you hear it. You hear him. When you're talking, you can hear at the
Oh,
same time when he's talking.
I've never heard that before. I haven't heard
There
it.
were people in, I don't know if it was Italy, I cannot remember, but they were sitting, he's sitting there and you see all the people around him. And again, this is only a snippet of a video, and I am a person right now saying you can't just take one, you have to see different angles, but combined with all the evidence, all the other evidence, you see them there, he's sitting there, doing his usual, like, is he on heroin or just what? Because he's doing the nodding because he's old. And they're going like this. And people are like all around him.
Oh
It's
my
not AI. It was in
God.
some, like cathedral or something.
Was that at the Pope's funeral?
I don't know. I don't think it was the Pope's funeral because he was sitting on the left and on the Pope's funeral he was on the right. But it was something like that. But people, you see them, and there was like one lady that they showed that went and then covered her nose. And so many people are saying that he smells.
Oh, jeez. I'm sorry. Just it is like it just gets better and better. Like it's
Honestly,
just
if it wasn't
uh,
so dangerous, it
yeah.
is. It is a fucking comedy.
And what is it? But that's the irony, is that it's dangerous, but the guy literally smells like shit.
Like shit.
Like
And
what?
piss and body odor and everything. I don't even want to know what his breath probably smells like.
How does Melania even sit next to the guy?
She rarely does. You rarely see her anymore.
Well, of course. She tried to leave him the first time he got in.
He
She's
tries to hold her hand, she pulls it away.
oh, I know. I mean, literally deer in headlights when he first got elected in, and they were walking on stage, and she was like, "What the fuck do I do now?"
It is now we can go and show a lot of videos of people in LA showing that there's nothing, showing that it's peaceful. We can show a lot of stuff, but the thing is, talking about just narcissism is the main thing. That this is a narcissist. If you stay in a relationship long enough, it's on a more condensed level because it's personal, but
Mhm.
this is what they do.
Mhm.
And when you smear campaign, that's what he's doing to all the blue states. That's what he's doing to California. California's horrible. Newsom is terrible. Look at, they're on fire. They're burning things up. What does he say about you when you leave? She's a horrible person. He's a horrible person. They did this. They did that. I'm the victim. This is Darvo on a huge
I
scale.
know, I know. Yeah, that's nasty. That's a nasty comment. You're nasty. You're just a nasty person. The guy. Oh, oh, it is
And
just
when it comes to a narcissist, remember this. Every accusation is a confession.
yeah, I know.
And I had someone say to me, "Oh, it's the same for the Democrats too." And it's like the trauma bond goggles.
What is going to happen with this with the US, Jody? What are we looking at here if Trump stays in for the next 4 years?
Well, according to Mike Johnson, the biggest flying monkey ever, if the Democrats win the House and the Senate next election in 2026, then Trump is done. Even Mike Johnson said that Trump's presidency is going to be over in 2 years because they will stop everything that he wants to do. They will
I
stop all the illegal
I can't
bullshit.
see him being there in 2 years. I feel like something is coming long before that. He is, there's something that is going to happen where that guy's going to walk, he's going to be taken in cuffs or somebody's going to knock him out. I don't know.
I'm wondering why there is no one that has taken one for the team that has nothing to lose. But that's there. Okay, you brought up another point. Do you ever notice how you have not heard one thing about the people that attempted to assassinate him?
No.
He talks about everything else over and over and over again. He talks about he was attempted to be assassinated twice, but you never hear about the people anymore
No.
because that didn't happen.
No, I know.
Because it
I'm
was
just
all a
saying, like,
setup.
I can't see him lasting more than another 6 months, to be honest, in the sense that something big is going to happen with the way that he is absolutely destroying not just the US, but the world.
The world. The world.
Something on a bigger scale has got to happen where somebody else, like again, another country has more law and order, power, whatever, over him to be able to take him out. I want to see him in handcuffs.
I would, like I said earlier, I want to see some Nuremberg style trials. I
Mhm.
do. With
Yeah.
Bondi, who is our Secretary of, no, Homeland Security? No, she's FBI. No, that's Patel. Whatever the fuck his name is. I don't care. But Cash Patel is his name.
Mm-hmm.
Pam Bondi, Caroline Levitt, Marco Rubio, Mike Johnson, Elon Musk, Trump, Vance, Miller, all of those people.
What's that green chick? What the fuck is her name?
Green, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Marjorie
Oh
Taylor
dear
Greene.
God, she
That
is
woman
fucking.
needs to get taken out with a fucking handbag and some
Oh,
with a
they
bag like a
all
bag of
need to
rocks.
be because
No, she needs to be smashed in the head with a fucking bag of rocks. Like literally, like somebody needs to take a bag of rocks and like whack her one upside the head. That woman is fucking gross.
she is. How did
She's
she?
embarrassing to be identify as a cisgender woman. Like I just it just it's such a oh, I've never ever had to listen to the more disgusting
Oh,
shit.
and the other one, when you talk about cisgender, what is her name? The one that is so against trans.
I don't know.
Mace. Mace. I think it's Nancy or something. Mace, who is the one that, oh my God, you've got to have. She fought for the trans House representative to not be able to use the women's bathroom. She is a awful person. She is just. I'm sorry, but they're all awful because even the ones
All
you never hear of, that you never hear about,
all
they
hate
are
and all
complicit.
yeah, but it's all based on fear. Again, and I know I've mentioned this before as a Canadian, okay? We don't have the same biological and intrinsic fear that Americans have. When I've done video posts on my page about, another school shooting and another mass shooting, and I'm like, here we go again, the US is the only country in the world that has this problem where people are taken because there's no gun laws, there's no gun control, and then you get the fucking, oh, I like guns, people that get on, and it's just like yeah, there's no logic, there's no nothing, and they argue and they fight and they argue and they fight and they argue and they fight over the same thing over and over and over and over again. Where does this come from? Fear. They don't like change. Everything has been based on fear from the very beginning, right back to the Civil War, like everything. African Americans come in and it's like
Xenophobia.
they're fear because they're different. They
Yeah.
don't look the same. It's ignorance. It comes from pure fucking ignorance and
Yeah.
fear.
I was
And
just talking about this morning. Sorry. I got my hair cut and she was telling me about this 80-year-old man and stuff about him. And I said, but that's the thing. A lot of the boomers, a lot of the older people, she's like, they're Trumpers. And she's like, but why? And I said, because they don't like change.
I don't like change.
Don't
No,
like
but
progressive
again,
stuff.
they don't want that because it changes everything and they don't know what
Yes.
to do with it because they don't have a mindset that comes from growth. It's fixed.
Mhm.
And they literally are stuck in a state of fear. Anything that is different than what they were known, brought up in, whatever,
Yeah.
into them is wrong and it's not okay. And it goes right back to the beginning of time. But if you look at Canada and you look at the US, I can walk out and not lock my door. I don't have a gun. I wouldn't even know the thought about people like, you don't have a gun, like you don't, I'm like, oh my God, that's terrifying. Like the thought
Yeah.
about even owning one if I don't hunt or I don't go to a gun range and I'm not, you don't just carry an effing gun around with you. Like you just don't do that. They're like, but
People
safety,
collect them here.
don't. People, you don't, if you don't have the guns, nobody's got things to kill you with. A knife, okay, but how many people can you take out with a knife? Not very many. It's different. It
Yeah.
is not the same. We had an incident, and I know I mentioned this before, but that fear isn't there. Do I wake up and fear sending my kids to school? No. We don't have metal detectors in schools.
And that is why LA, that is why it's gotten worse since they brought in the National Guard and all that. Because what did they do? Instill fear and panic.
Yeah, yeah, but that's what they do, and that's what they're doing in schools now. Corporal punishment, or like they're, or what do you call it? Punishment. What the fuck?
In schools?
Yeah,
What
that's what it
the
said.
fuck? And that's the thing. He's all about states' rights, but not if he doesn't like it.
Mhm. Do as I say,
So
not as I do.
exactly.
I'm a
Rules for
criminal.
me, but
I'm a
not for me.
rapist. I'm a bigot. I'm a fascist. I'm a this. But
34
we're gonna get rid
counts.
of all the fucking criminals.
And we're gonna pardon all the J6ers, and they're all gonna be out there as ICE. I don't think it's all ICE. J6ers. We're gonna cover our faces with masks, but Trump is gonna proclaim that it is illegal to be wearing a mask at a protest because only our guys can wear masks, so you can't tell who they are. He's having his big old fucking parade on Saturday and says if anybody protests, peaceful or not, our Constitution, the First Amendment, allows for peaceful protest. And so that's what we were having in LA. But he can't have a peaceful anything.
Isn't
Wait,
he hiring military to come out for his birthday?
God fucking yes. But guess what? It is supposed to rain and
Military.
thunder and hurricane
Why
force
doesn't
winds.
somebody from the military take him?
I don't know. I don't know. He has fucked veterans over so badly.
Again,
Over and over and over again. He does it. Why? I'm waiting for somebody who is end stage terminal cancer. I have nothing, anyways. What the fuck? Or Iran,
Iran.
the cartel, somebody that's known for doing shit. No, somehow no. That's the thing that I don't understand.
The irony to all of this is nobody seems to be able to touch Trump. But if somebody were to be able to touch Trump in that way, they would be arrested and maybe executed.
Mm-hmm.
But Trump can do whatever he
Yeah.
wants.
Well, just like we are not allowed to protest on Saturday. However, Saturday is a giant No King's Day
Yeah.
where there are protests all over the place.
Yeah.
There's one out here in my area. So I
Mhm.
hope to go. But he's already said anybody caught protesting is going to be dealt with severely.
Yeah,
Our
right.
Constitution allows for protesting. So what the fuck? But then you get his flying monkeys who are like, yay, until something happens to them and they're like, God, we didn't think it was us. I know I've been all over the place tonight, I think,
Okay, no,
perhaps.
it's been pretty.
But this is like here in my backyard.
I
It's
know.
it's always been in my neighborhood because I live in the United States, but they brought it to California for the sole purpose of trying to make an example of a blue state that is the fourth largest economy in the world that has filed the most lawsuits against him. New York, that's where they're also going.
Yeah, that's what
They're
you're saying.
going to all the blue states that are doing that to him so he can try to quash them. So that his diehard MAGAs look at him and go, oh my God, yay, you got California. You put them in their place. I pray for this to happen, that we exit, that we secede, that we stop giving our tax dollars. Do you know what would happen to the United States if they stopped getting California's tax dollars?
Yeah, that's a real problem. Yeah.
Mississippi, Alabama, Kentucky, Tennessee. Yeah,
Yeah, all of the red Republican states that are very poor. That's right.
that hate welfare, hate socialism, but they use it the most.
Yeah, exactly.
I have never in my life, I'm not going to say how old I am, and my birthday is a week from Sunday, so I'm really not going to say how old I am. But never in all my years have I seen so much cognitive dissonance,
I know.
so much narcissistic bullshit.
Yep, I know.
These I was gonna say 4 years, and it's only been what, 4 months? These 4 months, well, let's see, January, February, March, April. Oh, we're already 5 months. Sorry. Almost, yeah, almost 5 months. Um, if you did not know anything about narcissistic personality disorder, you haven't been studying well enough these past 4 months.
Yeah.
Because this is the most malignant narcissist that you will hopefully ever see.
And as a public figure.
Well, hopefully ever see in your life.
Well,
Because if
hopefully,
you
but I
meet
mean,
someone worse than this and you get in a relationship with them, yeah.
I've
Yeah.
seen a lot of like I mean, a lot of people with money and stuff, power and success and celebrityism or whatever. Like look at what the fuck is his name? Kanye West. That guy's is narcissistic and well, he's bipolar, but narcissistic as they
He's
get.
not bipolar. And he even said he doesn't know why they gave him that. He said
Oh,
the media gave him that
oh, I thought that. Oh, okay. Well,
diagnosis.
then that's again,
I
that's
don't know. I don't know. He says that he wasn't given that diagnosis from a doctor. And I don't see bipolar. I see more of a delusional disorder there.
well, because he thinks he's literally the second coming of Jesus.
Yes. And it is fixed, and you cannot take that from him.
Oh, and he's yeah, he's pretty
Yeah.
impulsive. But yeah, he's very, very narcissistic. That guy is like literally grossly narcissistic. To walk on stage and like humiliate Taylor Swift the way that he did years
I was
ago.
gonna wear my fuck Kanye shirt tonight, but I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, it needs to like go down, right?
But I have my
And
fuck
Beyonce's
Kanye
like,
shirt.
I'm like, you're not supposed to laugh at that. And it's pretty bad that you were laughing at that when Taylor won that award. That was so gross. I remember Obama commenting on that. He's like, what a jackass. It was
You
great.
know, being a PhD means you're an expert in your field. When you earn a PhD, that means you've earned the expert label. What the fuck has happened to people? I should know. I mean, I'm learning more and more, but it has actually been a shift in learning about how people are
Mm.
by what is happening with Trump. I used to believe that we are born, I still believe we're born blank slates, but it used to be blank slates with a propensity for good.
Hmm.
I am surprised about how many people are actually, if given the opportunity, and I say that with if given the opportunity,
Hmm.
relish being bad. I used to watch, I still do, but watch things like, what is it? The Last of Us, Walking Dead. There was another one about electricity being gone. I can't remember the name of it, but those kind of shows. And thinking, God damn, why are people so evil? And now I know. Now I see. It has, sadly, it has changed my outlook
Hmm.
on people. And I do think that psychology and the practice of and the study of is
Hmm.
going to be different now because of Trump, at least here in the United States, but it should be everywhere to learn how you don't need to be a poor abused child to get into a cult.
Nope.
It used to be we would think about, wow, who are these people that are getting in
Well, you're
cult?
more susceptible to influence when you're lost.
Yes, but are you telling me that 70 million people are lost?
No. Well, maybe. I mean, again, ignorance is bliss. Like they're uneducated and and that hate and that fear is inherent, right? If you look at the people that support Trump, they're hateful people. They are full of hate. They are full of fear. They are full of misery, and they're miserable. There is no way anybody should be supporting that man
No.
based on his what he's shown as up as being a human in this world. He is disgusting.
And this is why one of the reasons that, and I think I said it, I think it was either to a client or on a podcast that, we start out with, I'm going to drive 65. I'm going to follow all the rules. Oh, wow. Everyone around me is driving 80. I'm going to drive 80. Okay. Now we're breaking the law, but we do it. And
Mhm.
then, oh, these are all mismarked. These aren't marked. They're free. I'm going to take them too. No consequences.
Mhm.
And it just kind of grows from there. I didn't
Mhm.
start out being a mean and evil person. It just kind of grew with this is what society is allowing.
Well, that's exactly
Okay.
how the Holocaust happened. It's
Yes.
not like every Nazi out there, German out there, was born a psychopath. They weren't. Influence, hate
Yeah.
is spread.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I'm not saying that every single person was innocent and then just became hateful. I'm saying he allowed, oh wow, I did that and got away with it. Now I'm going to try this. Did that and got away with it.
Yep.
And so that's how people that seemingly your neighbor who turned into this massive Trumper, I'm black, he's white, he always seemed to be fine. We had him over for dinner. Now he's against me. Yeah, because it's okay now to not like you. Before it was socially appropriate to try to like everybody. There's no reason to hate you. Why should I hate you? But now it's like, oh, I don't have to like you because you're black. Okay, so now I can hate you. Do you know what I mean? It's like society makes me like you, makes me look at you as a regular person.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, society isn't making me do that anymore. Now I can look at you as an animal. So I don't like you. And that's how people start to become more and more and more. That didn't start out like that in the first place. Does that
That's
make
right.
sense?
Yeah, yeah,
So
I know.
it's sad. And it's what's really sad is the vast majority of them, once they get there,
There's no going back.
I was just going to say, they don't want to go back because it's more fun to be evil.
Well, it's perpetual. It's just it's again, it's based on fear and anger and evil. Evil, like again, they're angry. Like people are angry. Like and what's fun about that? Again, you'd have no moral, you have no conscience, you have no morality, you've got no
No
ethical
moral compass. Your moral compass is Trump.
long run. Well, that's what I mean. And then he's not moral and he's not ethical and
No.
he's like nothing, right? He is a sociopath. He
Yeah.
is a full-blown narcissistic sociopath. Again, extort, exploit, fucking lie, manipulate, gaslight, attention seeking, all about him, take advantage of everybody to serve him and he's abusive and mean and cruel and the guy is just sicker than sick. And people look
And
up to this.
loving it. And you know what else? He is so cognitively impaired.
Oh, I
That's
know.
the fucking scary part.
Oh, he's so cognitively impaired. It's like he's got a speech processing disorder. Word salad is one thing, but he doesn't make sense about anything. And then he's also
No.
misusing the language, misusing his literary skill. He doesn't have any literary skills. Like, oh, it's like that Isaac Neutron guy. You mean Isaac Newton?
Jimmy Neutron was a kid's show back when my son was little. We watched it. So it's Jimmy Neutron or Isaac Newton.
He
Which
meant Isaac
one?
Newton
No,
because he
I
was
know, I
talking about,
know,
I know.
I know.
He talked about Musk and the Tesla. It's like, oh, Tesla's like that Isaac Neutron guy. You mean Isaac Newton? And he was the one that figured out gravity, which is like really, you mean Thomas Edison
And it's
for
not even
light? Or
Tesla to
Nikola
Trump. It's
Tesla.
Tesla.
Nikola
Tesla.
Tesla is the one that, and it was Tesla. He doesn't know what the
Yeah.
fuck he's talking about.
And Tesla was electricity in the
Nikola Tesla.
radio. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
He has no
prior to
idea who
that,
the fuck he said
electricity and the light bulb was
yeah.
Thomas Edison. Again, he doesn't fucking know anything.
No, he
No
is
anything.
illiterate.
Isaac
He cannot
Newton was
read.
the one that discovered gravity. That's Isaac Newton. Like it just hurts my fucking
But
world.
Jimmy
I learned that in
Neutron,
elementary school.
Jimmy Neutron was a genius. It was a cartoon on either Disney or Nickelodeon. I don't remember, but my son watched it when he was a baby. He was a genius. He was a kid genius. So maybe Baron, who is a genius because he knew how to turn on a computer by pushing the button at whatever 6 years old, maybe he watched Jimmy Neutron too. But Trump, now,
Weird. Okay.
Trump,
Idea.
Trump doesn't even go to his news briefings. Have you ever seen the clips of them saying, "Do you know about this, this, this?" He goes, "I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't know. What is it?"
He's again dumber than a sack of fucking hammers. I just don't get it.
It is getting worse and worse and worse by the day.
I know. That's why I'm
By
saying I
the
don't
day.
think he's gonna last 2 years. I think he's got maybe another 6 months. Something's gonna happen. He's gonna push this whole Constitution thing so far, which is again, it's all falling apart in front of you. Martial law is already a threat.
Yes.
So again, he's going to push this so far where the US is going to be again, it's going to be a civil war, and that guy's going to wind up walking out in fucking handcuffs or somebody's going to off him.
There is a Jewish, I don't know if it's only Jewish, but Jewish saying of "from your lips to God's ears." I'm
Mm.
not going to say I'm saying that because I believe in karma, so I have to watch what I say. But if it's meant to be,
Well, whatever's meant to be is meant to be, but it's one of these things that I just and I don't even think an assassination, he's got so much security around him. I don't even think it's possible.
no, I don't want that. I don't want
I
that.
I
I want
want
him to
him
be
to rot
fucking
in
miserable.
prison. I want him to rot in prison.
Yes. I want him to live out the rest of his
Where
years
he is the most
in
hated man in the
misery.
world, and not one person, including all the other fucking dumber than dirt idiots down
Well,
south.
because they're all surrounding
Fucking-
him in prison. They all deserve to be in prison.
Yeah, they can be
And they can be in Guantanamo Bay with him.
right, right. They can all just be a bunch of butt bangers.
I agree. I
Hmm.
agree. I tell my friend,
Oh, drop the soap, Trump.
a friend of
Trump,
mine,
drop the
I
soap.
always say,
You
I
should all
wish
send him a gift.
of
All the other
soap
inmates, soap on a
up
rope.
on a rope. Yes.
All soap on a rope that they should all as a gift for all of them.
I was telling my friend that I am a believer of karma because it has happened to me where I said something and
Yeah.
it happened to me. So I watch my words. I try to watch my words. And so I don't say anything. But what I wish in my head is, what is it? NSFW, not safe for work.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. It has to do with like being cognitively aware of what's going on, but being physically unable to do anything about it.
Hmm.
I would
Wouldn't
love
that
that.
be, that would be wonderful karma.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So on
Hmm.
that note, if you didn't already know how much how we feel, and this is a surprise to you, well, welcome to our channel.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Let us know some more content, guys, that you guys want or that you want to hear about or talk about. There's lots of different things that we can discuss.
Absolutely. I have a whole thing. I worked in prison for 13 years, men's prison. I have a whole thing on what inmates say that you don't realize that goes on in prison. I would love to, if you guys are interested in that, I would love to do a podcast on what, from a other side perspective. Yes, I'm not an inmate, but from a psychologist perspective, in 13 years in a men's maximum security prison, rapists, murderers, all that. When I read things like, it says former inmates revealed what it's actually like to be incarcerated, and it's not what you think. I love reading those things because I'm like, what are they talking about? And it's like, yes, I'm not an inmate, but I talked to the inmates for 13 years. I was there 10 hours a day, 4 days a week. I saw things.
Maybe a topic that I don't, who knows if it's going to interest people or not, but on how vastly different our countries are when it comes to law and order. Because we don't have, well, like, I mean, okay, we have law and order, but I mean, the punishment's like, oh, you murdered somebody? Oh, you raped somebody? Oh,
We should. So let's do some. Are you guys interested in prison?
yeah. And in prison talk are
There's
there
a
are
lot of
different
order.
judicial systems
Yeah,
because here, and a lot of people think it's our liberal government, we're too soft and we're whatever. No, like,
yeah.
and everybody deserves a right until you're proven guilty in a court of law. I will never forget because my ex-husband, we were friends with a couple that were lawyers, and one was a defense attorney. And he was one of the defense attorneys on the Picton case, Robert Picton, who was the one that murdered all the prostitutes. He's one of Canada's most prolific serial killers. And he lived on a pig farm out in Coquitlam here. And he would feed, his pigs are omnivores. So he'd, do away with the bodies and then feed them to the pigs. Very disturbing and very grotesque, and a lot of shows and criminal shows have picked up on that I think Criminal Minds did an episode on it.
I remember
Um,
that one very
yeah,
well.
no, but it was based in so out in it's out in BC, Vancouver, but where it really happened, but the way that they did it in the show was Toronto, so they crossed the border at like Detroit. Anyway, where was I going with this? Oh, and he just said, I'm like, how did you work on that case and defend that guy? And he's like, well, everybody's entitled to a trial until proven guilty. And I mean, this is what lawyers do. Like this is what they take, the oath they take. But here it is infuriating because what we'll do is we'll have like a serial sexual offender that literally serves time. And then within months, if not maybe even a couple,
Yeah.
like dangerous offender will be released. And then a warning has to go out to the public and it says highly or high likely to reoffend, highly likely to reoffend, be forewarned. They're on probation, they have a parole officer, but they all violate the parole off, like their parole, and they're off reoffending right away because they're likely to reoffend. So why the fuck are they out of prison? It's infuriating.
I would love to do a podcast. Let us know on that kind of stuff because I will tell you, our progressives over here. Oh my God. Oh my God. Poor prison people, poor inmates. I was in an office that it was a closet. We had no air, no heat, no anything. And they said to us, inmates are the priority. But you have people that are like, oh my God, the inmates are not here. These are the same people that when the person commits the crime, they're like, throw the fucking book at him, death penalty. They shouldn't even be around anymore. But once they get into prison, oh,
Yeah,
whole
we don't have the death
story.
penalty in Canada. There is no death penalty. Nope.
Let's talk about that. You guys want to hear about that next time?
Yep.
I would love to.
Yeah.
Hopefully, let's all, I'm not saying this in a religious way, people, but let's all pray that we don't have more fucking bullshit from this ass hat. We probably will. And we can talk about something different.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds good.
Sounds good. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Thank you all so much. That those of you who have liked, subscribed. Once we get to 1,000, though, we can do things like little mini subscription stuff where you can get more content from us and stuff like that. So we got to get to 1,000, though. We're
Okay.
close.
Have a good night, guys. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.